Hey guys, and welcome back to the gun tutorial. This is episode 16, I believe. I am sorry that it has been so long. It's been, oh man, at least a month and a half, maybe 2 months, and I totally blame that on myself because I was going on vacation and business tripped. So basically, it just got put off, and I just didn't feel like doing it. But I do want to finish this series, hopefully. So today we're going to move on to dealing damage with the weapon. It'll be very, very fast, very easy. I'm not going to cover dealing damage to other players in this one because it will actually require me to use a separate data pack to handle that damage system because players have custom. It's harder to deal damage to players, but we're going to deal damage to at least the villagers so we can finally take them off the board. So where we were before was we were basically hitting them at the head, the body, and the legs. Now we actually have to make that do something meaningful. So we are going to go into the gun function so that we can go to the Glock, and we're actually going to add some new stats. And I'm going to add these stats under shoot, okay? And we're going to add these stats for and these stats we're going to add are damage, which we're going to make this one do 3 damage. And then we should do multiplier. Okay. And then it'll be an array where the first one is the legs, then body, then head. So we're going to do 50, then 100, then 200. So when you hit the body, it'll do 100%. When you do the legs, it does 50%. And when you do the head, it's 200%. And the reason I did it in this order is because armor is actually in this order. And we're just going to leave those as integers. So now when we go into the gun set stats, get stats, then basically we're just going to have to add a new set of stats here to our scoreboards. So shoot.damage, and then we're going to have shoot.molt.0. And the reason I'm not specifying whether it is legs or head or body is because let's say you have a custom thing that you want to hit, like a custom enemy, and maybe you want to add different multipliers, or maybe you only don't even want the leg multiplier, so you can just get rid of that. I guess I could, I'll specify that it's legs. But I don't want to be too specific with the multipliers because there could be different, you could add more for different reasons or something like that. And then let's go legs, body, head. Okay, we'll just keep it like that. And so this will grab the values. Now we actually need to do something with those values. So we go into shoots, hits, and when you hit the legs, and then we're going to go into the start. So now we're going to do scoreboard, players, operation, hashtag damage, and then let me do scoreboard because these are our stats. Okay, so hashtag damage stats equals shoot damage stats. Okay, and this was from the when we did the data get. And the reason we do the hashtag is to make it invisible, and this is just something we're going to do math to. Okay, now we're going to actually go into the legs and do hashtag damage stats times equals damage.molt.legs. Okay, and then we're going to go like this and divide it by hashtag 100 constant. So it's actually a fraction. And it will round down. So inside init, let's just make sure that we have the constant scoreboard, which we don't. So we're going to do scoreboard objectives, add constant dummy, and we're just going to use this to store constant values. So this will just set 100 to 100, and it will always be 100. Okay, now we copy this, okay, then go back into the body, and go ahead and change this to body. And then stop telling me I want to buy it. Now go to head, and change this to head. Okay, and finally, we can just at the bottom here, comment that out, and do telraw at a score objective stats name damage. Okay. Do/reload, do/function gun gun/get Glock. Okay. And then let's go gun/ammo. Okay. And we'll reload it. Okay. And now when I shoot it, it will say the damage. So when I hit him in the legs, it's only 1. Chest is 3. Head is 6. Perfect. Now we need to actually deal the damage to the enemy. So we're going to go ahead and go like this and do damage underscore mob. Okay. And this is execute if entity as type equals not player. So if it's not a player, we can damage it like a mob would be damaged, which is actually easy to do. So we'll do damage mob. Okay. And inside here, we're going to do 2 simple things. We're going to do execute store results score hashtag health stats run data get entity as health, which grabs the health of the entity and stores it on a score. And then we're going to execute store results entity as health. And we have to specify that health is a short 1.0, or I think it's a float. Then run scoreboard players operation health stats minus equals damage stats. So we're basically just removing the damage from the health. And then what we can do also is we can actually go and split this up and change this to a scoreboard players get. Okay, and the reason we're splitting this up is now we can actually see if this value is less than 0 or equal to 0, then we know that we killed it. So you can do special things on that. So execute if score hashtag health stats matches ... 0 run say killed. And this is something that you can add additional logic to later. So when we type reload, we can go ahead and go boop 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then it died and it says killed right before it died. One thing you'll note is that the entity will do a little bit of a TP weird thing where it moves around, and that's because you're editing their MBT data. And that's just something that's kind of unavoidable. One thing that I actually like to do, because this data stuff is actually very expensive, and I probably won't do it for this tutorial, but in practice, I legitimately 100% do this, and I actually get rid of this entirely. And what I do is I basically just keep their health on a scoreboard at all times. And what this does is it makes it so you don't have to do any datas. And if it's less than 0, you just manually kill them with a kill command. And you can get rid of this command as well. Just make it when you spawn them, they have a score on like a new scoreboard, and that score is always saved. The benefit to that, the only detriment to doing that is that if you do melee damage to them, that won't register inside of the system. So you'll have to create a new system for dealing melee damage. But it's actually very beneficial to have a new system for melee damage anyways, if you're doing something custom like elemental damage, or I don't know what system you're using. But it's nice to have melee handled on its own. But to be very modular, this pack is going to use data because it's something that can be used. This pack is aimed to be usable in a variety of situations, such as survival. One additional thing that I totally forgot to do was actually add a particle. So it's nice to have a little particle. So we can do particle block redstone block 0 0 0 0 1 or 3. And so we can basically just go like that. And we just have a little particle wherever we hit them, which is just a nice little additional final touch. Anyways, that's the whole spiel, guys. I'll try to make the next episode sooner than the time between the 15 and 16. Hopefully you guys found that useful, and I'll see you next time. Peace.